This is the new Brother Edge PT-E300, and you're going to find it to be the easiest handheld machine you've ever used out in the field to do your everyday tasks such as patch panels, cable wraps, faceplates, flags, and 110 block DESI strips. So I'm going to run you through basically how to put the data into the machine and then manipulate that data going from, let's say, a patch panel to a cable wrap to a 110 block to a faceplate. So the first thing you're going to do is obviously turn the machine on. We're going to build a 24-port patch panel. So the next thing is select the patch panel. Inside the patch panel, the first thing it's going to ask you is your block length. The block length is your port-to-port spacing. And if you're just a little bit off on this, by the time you get to the end port, the very last port, you're going to be off a lot. So the way that we're going to identify that port spacing is by utilizing the included the patch panel ruler. It's a clear ruler, and the way you use this ruler is you're going to align this edge of the card with the left edge of port number 1. You're then going to align these particular numbers up here with the left edge of port number 4. That is going to give us our port spacing. So let's say in this particular case we have a 0.69 port spacing. As you come into the machine, you're going to see to where it's going to, by default, it's 0.65. But if you use the right arrow key, you can change the value. In this particular case, it's 0.67. The next thing, by utilizing the down key, is the number of blocks or number of ports. The vast majority of the patch panels out there are what they call a 6-pack. You may have patch panels that go 24 straight across. You may have patch panels that have a 4 block spacing. For this demo, we're just going to go with the standard 6. Then it's going to ask you the separator. And if you want to change the separator in between the ports, you can use the right key, and it gives you an example. You can do blocks. You can do solid bolded lines, solid narrow lines. In this particular case, I'm going to use the dotted lines. Now that we have the block length, the number of blocks in there, and the separator, all I'm going to do is hit the OK button. Now it's going to ask you for what you're actually going to label on, let's say, on the patch panel. We're going to do a very simplistic 24 port. We're going to start at A01. We're going to end at A24. So at this point, you're just going to type in A01. Now, we want the machine to do the rest of the work for us, so we're going to serialize this job. Hit the serialize button. It's going to ask to specify a range. Because we're changing 2 out of the 3 digits in here, we're going from A01 to A24. We're going to manipulate that 0, and then we're going to manipulate the 1. So take that cursor underneath the 0, hit OK. Move the cursor to the right, hit OK again. Now it's going to come up with a count. If you hold the right key down, it will increase in increments of 5. So let's go up to 20, then I'm going to select 24. Increments in 1, you can skip. You can go A01 to A03, to A05, so forth and whatnot. But again, we're just going straight A01 through A24. So I'm going to select increment of 1. Once you hit the OK button, you can see the machine builds the job right in front of your eyes. And that's going to be in 6 packs, A01 through A24. You can even preview the job, and you can see the delineation that you put in between. To get out of the preview, hit the escape button, and when you go to print, it's going to ask you whether you want to print the whole job, all of the job, the current, or the range. If you select all, it'll start printing at A01, it will stop at A06, and then you cut it, and then A07 begins. So it always prints in the 6 packs. And as you can see, I printed this particular one earlier. That's going to be spot on when I put it up to the patch panel at 0.67. Now we're going to take this data, and we've got A01 through A24, and we're going to convert it into the individual cable wraps. And all you have to do is hit the easy key, which is the cable wrap easy key. We're going to select flexible ID, which is the tape you want to use. You always want to use flexible ID to wrap your cables. So I'm going to select the flexible ID. It's going to ask me the OD of the cable. And right now on screen is Cat 5, Cat 6. You can go to Cat 6E. There's coax. You can select the gauge. You can select the diameter. You can select a fixed length of the cable wrap. In this particular case, I'm going to do Cat 5, Cat 6. Leave the rest of the values alone at this particular point in time and just hit OK. And you're going to see it's going to convert those into the individual cable wraps starting at A01 and ending at A24. To preview what you're going to be printing, hit the preview button. You can see that is a rotate and repeat, and we repeat those on the label essentially, so as you wrap that around a cable you can see it from any angle. So we're going to escape out of here. And now that we're done with the cable wraps, we want to do a 110 Desi strip. So in the bottom left-hand corner of this machine, there is a blue shift key. You're going to hit the blue shift key, and you're going to press the patch panel button. And up above the patch panel button in blue, it will say punch block. The first thing it's going to come up with is a screen to go through some of the attributes of the Desi strip. The module width is essentially 8 inches is the standard for the Desi strip. Now we're going to keep that on 8 inches. It's then going to ask you the block type. In other words, how are you terminating this? And with the left arrow key, I can select a 3-pair termination, 2-pair termination, 4-pair termination, 5-pair termination. Right now I'm just going to do a C4 configuration. Again, leave the rest of this alone right now and hit OK. Now what that did is that took all that information and converted that into a Desi strip with upper and lower identifiers. If we want to see what that looks like, hit the preview button. And as you can see, there's my upper, there's my lower with lines in between the C4 clips. Let's go ahead and escape out of there. Now it's time to do a faceplate. The faceplate, again, is going to have to be measured at the faceplate level. You don't want to waste the tape. So let's say that I've already done the measurement, and I'm going to go into the faceplate mode and print those out. Again, hit the Shift key with the faceplate button. It's going to ask me my label length. Let's say in this particular faceplate, the little window, the Desi window in the faceplate is going to be 2.1 inches. And so you're going to use your right arrow key to get to 2.1. You're then going to hit OK. It now has converted that data into the faceplate labels and 2.1 inches on all of them. So again, you're not wasting tape. Hit the preview button and it shows what you're looking at. Actually, what's going to be printed. If you want to do, let's say, a cable flag, and let's escape out of here. You want to do a cable flag for fiber, some really small OD cable. Bottom left-hand corner, the blue shift key, cable flag. It's now going to ask you your flag length. Using the right key, arrow key, or left arrow key, you can designate what this the cable flag in this particular case is going to be 0.07. You can also choose your cable diameter, and let's just take this up to a 0.30 diameter. Now you're going to hit OK. And that has converted that data into the individual cable flags. Excuse me. If you go to hit your preview, you can see there's your flag with the delineator line in the middle. So let's go ahead and get out of here. Press escape, and essentially that's it. That is the way to take one piece of identifier, if you will, serialize it, and then manipulate that data into the different kinds of functions that this machine has. So again, this is the Brother Edge PT-E300. I hope you enjoy it.